Hello everyone. So a few days ago, I started working on a project which I've been curious to do for a while, developing an AI. The idea I had in mind was to develop an AI which read viral comedy tweets and try to recreate ones of its own. I researched and learned more about artificial intelligence, and I came to learn that a language model called GPT-3, which does more than that, already exists. For those of you who don't know, GPT-3 was created by the same company which created DALL-E 2, which is known to be an amazing AI. Basically, the way GPT-3 works is that it tries to predict what the user wants the next words to be when given an input. So, for example, if the input was create a YouTube title about AI, this is what the result would be. Of course, the results vary depending on the variables that we can play with that GPT-3 provides us. Anyways, the main limitation of this project was the subjectivity of comedy. I mean, I'm someone who finds things like this funny. This limitation was very apparent within minutes of me playing with the module, and you'll come to find that out later. You see, I, like many others, partake in dark comedy, and while I did expect this bias to affect the AI, my prediction for the outcome was nowhere close as it actually was. Now, you might think that it's as easy as asking it to create a viral tweet, or even a funny tweet, but that did not get the result that I wanted. So, since asking it directly did not work, I went with the other option of supplying it with examples of what I wanted it to create. I started copying viral tweets from my timeline. In the beginning, I wrapped every tweet in a quotation and called it a day. But that did not produce the intended result. I felt like it was giving me quotes from Tumblr. So, I decided to give the AI more context to make it understand what a funny tweet is and what a funny tweet isn't. After playing around with this idea for a bit, I realized that the problem was that I was giving GPT-3 too much context. I don't know exactly why, but going for a more straightforward approach seemed to fix it. I opted for dashes instead. I used the following tweets, many of which were generated in previous attempts by the way, and I started getting more promising results. Now, what I should have done at this point was to copy more viral tweets from Twitter to train GPT-3 to my liking. But I was kinda lazy. So what I did was train GPT-3 from its own outputs, which was one of the factors which produced the unexpected result. Okay, so to make this segment even more dramatic and to top things off, I made a little user interface that will display the generated tweets. At this point, I've been working on this for a whole week, so this message you see right here didn't even surprise me. But this is exactly what I meant. But a week back, when I first started getting these results, I was genuinely shocked. At the time, I was sharing them with my brother and my friends, and they were as shocked. And these following two jokes, which I generated a week back, made me feel like I was getting personally attacked, as funny as that sounds. The reason for that being is that these quote-unquote jokes were within only minutes of each other. Not only that, it's just that the second joke was even more direct. As you may have seen from the previous screenshots, I was surprised to say the least. But now I realize that the AI is just trying its best to mimic the previous sentences. I think that the reason of why it started producing such negative statements is the fact that dark humor can be used as a coping mechanism for depression. And so, somewhere along the way, GPT-3 just said F you to the grey area between the two. But I'm probably waffling at this point because I honestly don't know how any of this works. Before this, I was working on games, user interfaces and websites. But after coming across that DALL-E 2 video by Cold Fusion, I knew that AI was no joke. And now, I'm certain of it to say the least. Anyways, let's try one more joke.
What do you get when you cross a mentally ill AI with a society that treats it like trash? I'll tell you what you get. You get what you deserve.
Oh.